This is CG Ruthless Sports. I will be brutally honest. Ain't nothing but being brutally honest. Coming at you with another video. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Adams State defensive lineman EJ Labaze. Man, what's up, bro?
How's it going?
Well, it's going well, man. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media platform.
Yeah. So on Instagram and on Twitter, it's Coco Smooth. On Twitter, it's Coco_Smooth. On Instagram, it's COCOASMOOVE.
Oh, Coco Smooth. That is a great nickname. Was that the nickname you were called in school, if I'm wondering?
Yeah, man. Like I tell people, I made it in French class sophomore year. We was talking about desserts, and I was just like, okay, Coco, just chocolate, so Coco. And then I was just a smooth guy. I always been like a kind of smooth talker. So being able to just put those two together and kind of incorporate that has been cool.
It's kind of catchy, Coco Smooth. Like you're just smooth on the football field. You're Coco, but you're smooth on the football field.
Yeah, it kind of just plays into who I am and like my personality and how everything just kind of works in my life. It's cool.
Oh, that's interesting, man. So speaking about yourself, like outside of football, there was one thing that stood out about you that when I got to look at was one of the mental health stuff, like the book stuff. Like, can you explain to me like what made you do stuff like this or in any other way to help others like that?
Yeah, so like when I wrote the book, very long story short, when I wrote the book, I knew that it was something that was being talked about. It was circulating more in the last couple of years. It's been circulating a lot. I think mental health or mental hardships in athletes specifically is still a topic we don't want to quite address yet. And that's just because we're supposed to be the strong ones. We're supposed to be, everything is supposed to be elite about us. However, when you see it, history, especially sports history, a lot of athletes deal with mental health problems, and we kind of categorize it as, oh, they're nutcases, or, they're bad people, which is not the case. It's just there's a lot of stress in performing and entertaining. So when I wrote the book, it was just me being as honest as possible to the people that matter the most, which is everybody, and people that follow my story. It was one of those situations where I just wanted to finally be true and transparent.
That's very touching because, I've happened to deal with mental health myself too. So, it kind of is like, it's no joke, Hey, maybe I definitely want to check out your book too, man, because I want to understand how to control and how to do the journey, man. You come a long ways from your journey, but speaking of yourself, man, like what came from the journey when you came out of high school? Was there like any other schools recruiting you, or you just had to work the JUCO route?
Oh yeah, no, there was schools that recruited me. It was just the fact that my allergies are crazy right now. The pollen's busted, so my allergies are crazy right now. But it was summer schools recruiting me. It was just the fact that they couldn't fully recruit me because of my grades. So when they would ask me about my transcripts, that's when the conversation would end. I had some D2s, some D3s. Even out of JUCO, I had some schools looking at me. It wasn't just one school, but it was one of those situations. Again, it was just the GPA.
Oh, so it had to do with the grades and academic stuff?
Yeah. It was just heavily. I could have went D2 out of high school, and I didn't really want that at that time because I still thought I was better. And not to say that there's not D2 players that aren't good or whatever the case is. I just want to maximize my competition. So that's why I went JUCO on top of the grades, yeah.
Well, JUCO is a better way to work harder and grind harder. Coming from
Yeah.
JUCO myself too. It's a grind.
And JUCO, people don't realize. I mean, you call it the JUCO struggle. You call it, it's a struggle for real. So when you're JUCO made, it's like it means more, And people that go to the JUCO, they want it more than just a regular person. So it just adds the characteristics for that, for sure.
So speaking of that, so a JUCO college you came from was in California, right? But have you ever played against Fresno City College or nothing like that?
Fresno, yeah, that's the JUCO, right?
I went
Yeah, I
there.
went up to Fresno. They had a great stadium. We went up to Fresno my sophomore year. We played them. Their stadium was dope. It was like a real like university stadium. It was dope, man.
Yeah, stadium's pretty nice, but I'm pretty sure after the competition, what was it like competing with JUCO, man? Because it's intriguing how you would go on the same JUCO route like guys like Josh Allen, who ends up being one of those guys too.
Yeah, so like when you have what people don't realize is like people think JUCO is like the smallest level of college ball. That's incorrect in every sense. I played against Elliott Baker. He was the number one JUCO recruit in the country. He later ended up going to Alabama, offensive lineman. Aaron Rodgers went JUCO, and I played against his JUCO, which is Butte College, in Chico or Oroville. There's a lot of great talent. A lot of I think we had Kevin White a couple years ago. He did 2 years at JUCO, 1 year at West Virginia, and they got drafted first round. So it's like there's a lot of talent at JUCO, and everybody just needs like you only have so many scholarships at a university, so you fill up your roster with a lot of JUCO players or walk-ons or whatever the case is. So there's JUCO players are definitely top-notch athletes.
Yeah, they get overlooked because that's why they take that hard work route. And what's it like going from Virginia to California at that level? Like, what's it like
It
over
was a
there?
hard transition of being that young. Especially being that young, you have so many things that you think JUCO or you think California is going to be like. The beautiful trees, the beautiful weather, just beautiful environment, and then you go there, and it's not to say that it's not beautiful, but it's just definitely a shock, especially at that age. And having kind of to be on yourself physically and start depending on your instincts a little bit more than you had to.
Yeah, it could be a little challenging with what everybody looks at, but yeah, you going from the East Coast to the West Coast, it's not an easy transition because you got to learn the environments and all the stuff, and then like looking back at your JUCO college career, what was it like just playing out there?
It was dope. I mean, I met people that are lifelong brothers. I remember my first fall camp out there. There was a D lineman, and he was like 28 years old, and he was like fresh out of prison. And I'm like, this is gonna be different, like, but being able to just hold your own, being able to hold my own, and being able to still go out there and compete and still have a chance to see the field and go against other teams and other opponents. It really gave me a confidence boost because you're doing it against people your age, you're doing it against people 10 years older than you. You can do it against anybody.
Yeah, junior college is pretty much for anybody of that age, but the JUCO route isn't always a bad thing. I mean, it makes you work harder, but then after your JUCO career, what was there like any other offers besides Adams State that offer you to go out there?
Yeah, so I was talking to Coach Ike from Fort Hayes during I want to say 2018 year. I was talking to it was literally the day after Thanksgiving, NC State, and that's when they were like second in the ACC or something. We were talking. We had a couple of offers. We actually had a lot of offers from NAIAs, D2s. I actually had a pretty good base of D2 offers. I was just trying to get that D1. But some of them weren't, buying the trigger like they were talking. Stony Brook was one of them. But really, it wasn't necessarily the competition or where I go. It was how do I get next level after I get there. So it was one of those situations where instead of going to the biggest school, I was to go to the best coaching that could help me get to where I needed to go.
Yeah, you definitely want to go where you can be utilized the right way and be well coached and take the most out of your potential. But it's kind of intriguing that you go from a small college like Adams State. What is it like down there?
It's different. because again, it's in Colorado, so you have to realize that at that point in time, I just spent a year and a half at California, and then before that, I was in Virginia, the DMV, and then you go to Colorado and you're 7,000 feet above sea level. You're in front of a different demographics and age because most of the people in Alamosa were older. And then you're in a very, very small town with a bunch of people that came from different areas just like you. So it was kind of like a big melting pot at Adams State, which kind of made it cool because we were all doing our best to fit in.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's a very small town from when I was looking at the map right there, and it just says like maybe about like 10,000 people or something like that.
Yeah, and it says 10,000. You might like in a year. I mean, I'm sorry, you're not even going to see. I don't even think that's 10,000 people there. Like, I would be surprised if there's 10,000 people there. The valley is bigger than what people think, but because you stay on campus, you're probably going to see 2,000 people. I mean, you're not going to see a lot of people, and you're going to see the same faces over to where they're going to know you by your name at the end of the semester.
Oh yeah, small town. They're all gonna know who you are when you come over here because you're making your presence here. But speaking of when you first got to play with Adams State, like what was your first game and when you got your first opportunity to play?
Oh, it was this year. It was season. It was game one of this year, which was Western New Mexico, which was a big game for us. Every game's a big game, but it was a big game for us in terms of us redefining who Adams State and the name, and who Adams State was, and the name of what the Grizzlies presented and represented. And so that was a very big game, and it was great that it was the beginning of my senior night, or the beginning of the senior season, and it was a home game, a night game, and all that. It was great.
Must be nice. Usually, when you play your first game with that team, it gives you that first vibe as a debut. When you get out there, you just feel that atmosphere. What was it like just playing in front of that crowd?
Yeah, no, the Grizzly fans was amazing. I mean, they're amazing. They're second to none. It feels good because after COVID we haven't been able to give the fans or the students or teachers or whoever anything sports related football wise. And I don't care what nobody says. Football in the fall is one of the biggest attractions. So being able to give people that root for you every day, that you see every day, that root for you, that cheer for you, something to watch. It was an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it is. Especially what was it challenging like in COVID? Because I know COVID year was a difficult year. I know it was tough for certain athletes to go to the gym, but was it very difficult for you at the time or no?
Yeah, so COVID, so we thought we were going to have a season 2020 in the fall. Um, so that had most of the students come back and we were working out and we was getting after it. And when we were told that we were going to have a season, we were a little disappointed, but it gave us time to rest our bodies and prepare even harder. So we still hit the gym. We still were on the field, not as a team, but we would still do that on our own time, and we'd still have those team bonding experiences. And the thing is, I don't think what people realize is you could win, but it's hard to win without camaraderie, and it's hard to win when we don't love the person right next to you. You could know him, but do you love him? So during COVID, we were literally grinding together, having team barbecues, and we were just getting to know each other as people. And it was great.
Yeah, the unity and all that stuff. I mean, I even asked a couple of these players and they were telling me exactly the same how it was challenging for them to go to the gym, but they had to find different ways. And like you said, similar to what you were saying, that they found a little bit of the unity a little bit by gathering in some ways, but a distance. But the social distance and all the COVID was just really out of hand. But speaking of like other stuff, I was doing a little more research and I think that you played different positions besides defensive line. Can you explain what position you were playing before?
Yeah, so I've played defensive line was always my primary position, linebacker, defensive line, edge rush, whatever, the stand up position. I also have experience at U back, which is like a tight end, fullback type in JUCO, where I practice it, and Was doing it during the spring, loved it because I mean I feel like I have good hands, so it was one of those things where I was always a quicker guy at my position, and being able to use that on offense would have been a specialty basically. So being able to do that, and then going into the season my sophomore year, we had an altercation which literally took 5 to 7 of our teammates out on different positions, and Tyler was one. And they're like, EJ, can you practice X, Y, Z? Like, yeah, let's go. So was doing that, doing that, doing that. Luckily, we got it appealed, so I didn't have to go to the game. But I do have experience there, as well as all special teams. I was one of the captains on special team for my JUCO. So that, and then I think what people don't realize is that the versatility that I bring is almost second to none. I mean, you're not gonna find too many other people that can do it all, and have done it all.
Versatility is very important, especially when you can do pretty much anything. But the fact that you did play some tight end and some fullback role, like the mix role, like you were saying, the H back or something, that kind of gives you the showcase that you can even play that side of the ball. But when you're playing defensive lineman, man, like I know you're playing the end, but have you played even the inside also or no?
Man, I've literally played anything from the 9 technique to the 0. One of the games I started this year was New Highlands. New Mexico Highlands, right? One of the games I started this year, I was literally at like nose tackle / defensive tackle at any given play, depending on how the front went, you're in a 3 or a 0. Yeah. And I'm not scared of it. So it was one of those situations where I'm in the trenches for real.
Yeah. So, what do you enjoy better? Do you play do you enjoy playing the outside edge, or do you like playing more of the inside?
Honestly, honestly, I don't really mind either. I like the inside because I feel like I'm closer to the ball, literally. However, the outside's cool too. The outside gets a little less traffic. Honestly speaking, I used to really, my mindset was if I could play inside, I could play outside, right? So if the mindset the interior defensive linemen have, I feel like if D heads or edge rushers had that same mindset, it would be unstoppable because literally you're getting double teamed. You can get pancakes any play. It doesn't matter. So that's why I kind of like about the interior side of football, which was the nitty gritty. That's really the trenches. Like you gotta be a grown boy to stand there. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely like that part of it, and also I like the edge part because you can get a little more finesse. You get a little more cute. It's a little less things you have to worry about. Keys wise. So I really don't mind either.
Okay, that's good, man. That's what I like about certain players. Versatility, I actually enjoy more playing the inside better because I can take the double team or I can try to push them out the way and get to that quarterback. But watching some of your film, man, I like to know what is your favorite technique move or whatever type of step move you like to do as a defensive lineman.
Yeah, so like I've been telling people recently that it's the push pull. The push pull has been one of my favorite moves, just because you think I'm a quicker, smaller guy. I'm gonna try to beat you with speed, and I really want to press power early and often to get you off balance. And then when I hit you with speed, you're gonna be expecting the power. I like that. I also really like the hezzy. I'm a type of guy I like to set you up. I like to see how you work against quicker feet. Um, so I like to hezzy sometimes, set up my opponent, see if he's gonna give me the inside, see if he gives me the outside, see if he's an overstepper or not, see if he's a patient. So I like to set the hezzy up here and there as well.
Oh, that's good, man. I like how you look at the technique. Like you like to use your power, but you like to read on the quarterback more what they're capable of, and that's what makes it so outstanding. So, speaking of like another way of looking at it, like what's more of your favorite stand? Do you like to put your hand on the ground or do you like to stand with your foot? Like the way how certain D lines do it.
Yeah, so I prefer either. I it's hard. The head of the dirt, you get a better get off. So in that regard, I would definitely like the head of the dirt. However, when I'm stand up, I feel like I literally see the whole field better. And when I feel like I can see the whole field better, I feel like I can react and play better and faster.
Gives you a better vision when you stand up, but when you put the dirt down, it gives you more power because you can have better stance and be able to get a quick get off or bull rush them pretty quickly.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations where it kind of depends on the down. If it's a third and long situation, I might want to stand up. If it's third and short, second and short, or just regular second down, first down, you might want to handle the dirt. And honestly, sometimes it depends on how the coach feels. Um, Sometimes we had a lot of formations, and different formations call for different things, uh, different audibles. So some audibles, let's say for instance, if the running back was on your side, you might be a stand up, and if the running back was away, you put your hand on the dirt because you're about to go do whatever the technique called for. So really, it just depends on the situation, what the situation called for.
Yeah, depends on it. And then watching how you do against those running backs, yeah, you do good against the run. And as far as like your edge rush, I look at that your rotation. I see a lot of the QB pressures more. And then one of your plays that I checked out, it led to an interception. So that kind of gets unnoticed at times. So can you explain to me why that play to me stands out? I mean, it just doesn't get much notice right there.
Yeah, I think when you watch my film, you'll see some good things. I think I do a lot of the plays that I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the sexiest player. It's not that, but I do the plays that need to be done, and I'm always in my positions and stuff like that. So when you have the QB hurries and the QB pressures, the QB hits, the QB hit led to an interception because it changed the trajectory of the ball. Literally, he was nervous. He was scared. You see, he couldn't even sit in the pocket and go through his full throwing progression because of the rush, because of the pressure that we put on him, which led to the interception, which led to a turnover, which is a change it down, and our team gets the ball back, which is monumental. Especially in that game, it was crunch time. That was fourth quarter. So one thing about me is, I didn't I didn't get all the sacks I could have. I left some on the field for sure. But what I definitely illustrated in the film was that I could get to the ball and I could win my one on ones getting to the ball.
Yeah, winning one on ones does make a difference. I mean, if you can win your one on one matchups with the linemen and you can get the pressure, man, that's all people look at. But to me, sometimes stats can be overrated because, of course, you want to have the sacks and all that stuff. But if you're able to win your battles with the lineman one on one consistently, then you're going to get your pressures. And at some point, you're going to get the sacks. So it'll come around. That's just how I look at it.
Yeah, see, and that's nothing. That's another thing we got instilled in us is not every play is your play to make. Sometimes you got to be the person to take the double team so the person can have the single team, and he can win his one-on-one matchup. Be patient and wait your turn, and you're gonna make the plays that you need to make and some. If you have the hustle and stuff like that to the nature. So it's one of those situations where I think like you think the stats are sometimes overrated because you can have a linebacker that makes over 100 plus tackles, but for me, when I see stuff like that, I say kudos to the D line for eating up the blocks. Which that doesn't get the stats. They don't stat double teams, and they don't stat, at least at this level, they don't do it. Maybe at the NFL, you got the Pro Football Focus and all that good stuff that takes the next gen stats. So, maybe like that stuff. But at this level, you don't see people with the double teams or the QB pressures. They don't take those things into consideration.
Yeah, and they don't because it's not like it doesn't get talked about. Just like how linemen's block, they don't get much recognition for the stats too. But for defensive line, it's always about getting the pressure of the quarterback. And if they throw that ball quickly, it makes them make a quick mistake. And that play, when I saw that play, one of your DBs got that, or one of your linebackers or DB player, one of them got the pick, and you were in that play and you were disrupting right there. And then watching a couple of your plays, looking at what I had to do, seeing your get offs and the way you got on your one on one matchups, I seen how you use that proper technique. And that's just, I like how you play your game. But speaking of like your style of play, do you like trash talking on the field, or are you just like the kind of guy that lets the play do the talking?
It depends. At JUCO, I was a big trash talker. And I was a huge trash talker for the simple fact that came with the territory. You said you're a JUCO guy, so you could tell like there's a lot of testosterone going around. There's a lot of big chests that go around. You got to stick up to that. You can't squirm away from that. So at JUCO, I was a big trash talker. When I got to Adams State, I realized that this university We're all in it to win it together, not separately no more. It's not about my career and your career. Um, and that's not how you really wanted to that's not how the coaches wanted to be represented through trash talking. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to let the pads do the talking. So I respected that, and I played into that, but it's in me. It just depends on who brings it out.
Yeah, once you come from JUCO, they ain't no coming back from that, because that's where we come from, that mindset, man. We talk, we let our mouth do the talking, but like you say, you let the pad do the talking. So that's what I like about it, man. Like, usually when I see a lot of these guys at JUCO, man, they do open their mouth a lot.
And I can't be mad at it. I like it. I think it adds a little feistiness. I think when you're trash talking to your opponent, whether that's video games, whether that's on the field, on the basketball court, whatever, when you trash talk your opponent, it's gonna get the best out of them. And I'm a competitor, so I want the best out of you while you're playing me to give me my best.
Yeah.
I lose.
Yeah, that's what matters. I mean, you bring the best out of your competition. You feel the fire here and there. But man, like, do you even have like a sack celebration or anything like that, or you just walk around like certain players would?
Yeah. I got me a sweet feet dance. I just made a sweet feet dance for this next season. Wherever I go, TFL, sacks, you go see the dance for sure. I don't want to say too much about it, but you go see the dance for sure.
Oh, when a team gets you, what are they getting out of EJ Labaze as a football player on the field?
Yeah, you're getting a smart, accountable, disciplined player. You're getting somebody that is an athlete, but is also going to do all the unathletic things, like hustle to the football, like be where I'm supposed to be, like knowing my assignments, knowing my keys. I like being a team player, on top of being an athlete. And that's just one of the things that is innate in me and is going to come every single time.
Oh, I like the attitude, man. Hey, there's a good question by one of my followers. Which player would you like to go up against?
There's I never really cared who I'm going up against. There's only one player I would want to go up against, uh, and they don't necessarily play offensive line, so I don't know how to answer that.
Oh, okay, so that's just the challenging part. Okay.
Yeah, the one player I want to go up against is Tom Brady. I want to be able to be a part of his chess match. I want to sit there and see what it really feels like to get picked apart or beat him, whatever the case he goes through. Because I heard, he talks a little bit of smack. He's a competitor even at his age, and to be on the same field as Tom Brady is something that most people will never even experience. That's one player. So I guess right now he's with the Bucks. So the Bucks offensive line, I guess there was somebody from their offensive line last year that went to school by conference, so that'd be dope as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude. Tom Brady, like, get the opportunity to just get a sack. Would you kind of like tell him, hey, I'm going to make you retire?
What's so crazy? It's like, part of me is like, do I want to even talk smack to Tom Brady? I don't know. I don't know. I would get a sack and I'd probably do my dance over him and then walk away. And that's like more sweet to me than like, oh yeah, I just sacked Tom Brady, or like, yeah, Tom, like, yeah, now leave. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, it's respectful in a way, the way you're doing it. But before we get on, before we end it, like, can you explain to the future students that come to mind that want to come to Adams State, like, why they should go to this program?
Yeah, Adams State is up and coming. Adams State is we call it New Adams State because we're redefining, or they're redefining, new meanings to Adams State, new meanings to the Rex home, new meanings to the Rex family. We're reinstilling hard work, discipline. The coaching staff there has experience at other places and has experienced next level. Some of them have experienced next level. So if that's something you're interested in, that's a good place to go to. It's a good football. It's a good football conference. We always have 2 or 3 teams in the top 25 yearly. So you're going to be facing good competition. On top of that, you're going to be literally in the highest elevation. So you will literally become the best athlete you could be anywhere in the country.
Okay, that's intriguing, and plus the opportunities kind of present itself, so you can't go wrong with Adams State. But like, is there any other encouraging factor for other future students that could just go JUCO and why it shouldn't be a bad idea for them to take that route if they can't go to a university yet?
Yeah, JUCO is not bad. JUCO is not bad for everybody. There is JUCOs out there that accommodates different things. You know, there's some scholarship JUCOs out there. There's some housing JUCOs out there. I went to the dirties of the dirt. No housing, no scholarship. It was bad. You got to find your way. But it made me who I am today. I don't want to say it made me a man. I want to say it made me the strongest person I could possibly be, which is even higher. The situations that you'll go through there, you probably will ever face again. But the things is, those are redefining moments in your life. It tests your character to the core. And if you're a person that is up for that challenge, I definitely say it. If you're a person that rolls the dice on you 10 times out of 10, you'll go JUCO because you know whatever happens, you'll always be winning. And if that's the case, then hey, go for it.
Yeah, bet yourself. Like if you're not getting no offers for a college university, there's nothing wrong with going JUCO. It gets you towards university at some point if you finish your credits and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is important. I mean, you know, you call yourself a student athlete, you're more than just a student. You're more than just an athlete. You know, the student came first for a reason. And a lot of the times, and I was one of them, we put the athlete before the student. You're not an athlete student. You know, now that you can get paid and, you know, do all that good stuff, you're more of a business than anything. But in order to continue to do all this stuff, you have to be a student first. And JUCO is a great route to get more one-on-one exposure and, you know, get better football exposure.
Yeah, for sure, man. So speaking of like, I guess I can just give you one last question since it's on my head. So is there like any other dream team that you grew up watching that you want to play for one day or not?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be blessed to go anywhere, but I grew up a Jets fan because, you know, I was born in Brooklyn. My whole family, or most of my family's a Giants fan. So me going against the grain, became a Jets fan and kind of just stuck around. You know, I felt like that was a good team to watch, you know, and kind of compete with my family.
Yeah, it would be kind of interesting to see you in that gang green a little bit, just so you can just show your family, hey, it's not about the Giants. I got the dream to play for the Jets.
I would be like checkmate right there. Yeah, let me give you Giants Jets tickets. Come on. Sit on the Jets side.
Oh man, that's definitely convincing. So, you know what, man? Let me give you one more introduction, and I'm going to put you solo. But just ask Robert Saleh why he should take a chance on you on draft day. So let's just pretend I'm Robert Saleh, but it will be solo.
Yeah. Why you should have me is simple. I'm a competitor. I'm hardworking. I'm a captain, team captain. I've been through things that other players at bigger schools haven't been through. And where that comes into play is fourth quarter when you need to win the most. When the game's on the line, I'm not going to fold because guess what? I never folded on myself in life. But besides that, off the field, I'm a great act. I've done stuff in the community as well as done stuff personally to only benefit the goodness and well-being of everyone around me. So bringing me to your organization would better your organization and everybody that's in it. I'm a competitor from day one in the classroom, in the weight room, in the film room, on the field. Doesn't matter where you've been. Doesn't matter how long you've been in the NFL or not. I'm gonna get after it every single day. Thank you.
That's good, man. Yeah, we're definitely going to end it in a bit right now. So let's just end it on a high note, man. I appreciate you going on the show, and I'm definitely going to root for you. I'm going to wish you the best of luck, whether you go to the Niners or any other organization. It doesn't matter where you go as long as you get your opportunity and capitalize it.
I definitely appreciate that. Thank you for having me. I love Niners Nation. Being in California, I've met a lot of Niners fans, and the fan base is second to none. So I'd be blessed for any team to pick me up.
Man, I like the attitude, man. But as always, CG Ruthless Sports and EJ Labaze is out. And you already know. See y'all later.
Have a good one.